Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast by Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls and encourages spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. It is December the 29th, the last Monday of 2025. It's a time to reflect on the past year, and today the lectionary reading guides us to Luke chapter 19, the final week of Jesus' earthly ministry. In Luke chapter 9, Jesus decided to undertake his final journey to Jerusalem. It was a long and windy trip that took him through many towns and neighborhoods. Along the way, crowds followed him, and he performed miracles such as feeding more than 5,000 people with a child's lunch, leaving 12 baskets of leftovers. He healed the blind and those possessed by evil spirits. As Luke chapter 19 begins, Jesus has just entered Jericho and is passing through. He looks up and sees a man named Zacchaeus in a tree. Because he wanted to see Jesus and he was short, he climbed into the tree. Jesus tells him to come down from the tree, and then he invited himself to lunch at Zacchaeus' house. After lunch, Jesus continued his journey to Jerusalem, and just before entering, sent two of his disciples to fetch a colt so he could ride it on his final entry. The crowd of disciples began joyfully praising God for all the miracles they had witnessed as they shouted, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest." As the crowd kept shouting, it made the Pharisees very uneasy, and they begged Jesus to tell his disciples to stop their subservice chant. But Jesus dismissed the Pharisees' warnings, saying that if the crowd stayed silent, the stones would cry out. The lectionary reading centers on Luke 19, verses 41 to 44. The day Jesus entered Jerusalem was Palm Sunday. His arrival was victorious, and the crowd proclaimed him as their king. But as he approached Jerusalem and saw the city, he wept over it. If only they had recognized what would bring them peace. But it was as if it was hidden from their eyes, and it was now too late. Jesus then described the destruction and devastation that would soon befall Jerusalem. He lamented that it was because the people failed to recognize him for who he truly was. Jerusalem was destroyed approximately 40 years after Jesus spoke these words.